It is Friday, August 8th, and fire erupting again in LA. The Canyon Fire popping up yesterday afternoon, already swallowing almost 5,000 acres. Karen Bass caught completely unprepared. By the time this lady leaves office, her entire city could be gone. Also, New York AG Latisha James under criminal investigation. A grand jury subpoenaing her records. The woman who campaigned on sending the president to prison, now very likely going to prison herself. Wait till you see who Pam Bondi just appointed as the special prosecutor investigating both Adam Schiff and Latisha James. Not someone you want investigating you, and more stories as well from around the country. So it is happening again, nearly 6 months after the horrifying, deadly LA fires, the Pacific Palisades Fire, that left thousands homeless. An outcome that's largely been blamed on Mayor Karen Bass. That's who the city largely blames. Another wildfire now flaring up, this time in Ventura County. The fire dubbed the Canyon Fire, starting 12 hours ago, and by this morning it's exploded in size from just 30 acres last night to almost 5,000. The mayor caught completely off guard. CAL FIRE reporting at present it's 0% contained, 0% containment. And this coming just 6 months after the Palisades disaster that displaced thousands of residents, leaving thousands homeless. The majority of Los Angeles blames Mayor Karen Bass for the extent of the damage, her incompetence, yet facing growing cries to resign as mayor. Somehow she survived. A petition demanding her recall received over 200,000 verified signatures in the last few months, but ended up coming up short to force her recall, surviving largely by throwing her fire chief under the bus, firing Kristen Crowley. Well, Crowley may be gone, but Karen Bass isn't. She's still mayor. Gavin Newsom's still governor. What have these two been doing the past 6 months? Well, Gavin Newsom's a podcaster now, and Karen Bass is allegedly cutting red tape to help you rebuild your home faster.
Expediting, so I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape, we could get people back building as fast as possible, and we're going to continue doing that.
Yeah, the one thing is they are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope you're right.
You can hold me to it.
There's 4 groups said that.
No.
That would be they should be able to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
That sounds great. Yet, out of the 1,200 residents who submitted applications to rebuild in Pacific Palisades, yes, you need to ask permission to rebuild your house there. Guess how many permits Karen Bass has issued? Only 116. Out of the 1,200 residents who asked permission to rebuild, only 116 were granted permission. That doesn't sound like cutting red tape. As of today, over 90% of the homeowners or property owners are still waiting on Karen Bass to allow them to break ground. They're homeless right now. So why? Why would they make these property owners wait so long to rebuild? Honest question. Well, get this. 2 weeks ago, the California Senate passed a bill to let the city of LA buy fire-destroyed lots for low-income housing. Senate Bill 549. So you're waiting and waiting to rebuild. Eventually, maybe it's just easier to sell your lot back to the city. Yes, that's what's happening. The Democrat Senate passing a bill to make it legal for LA County and other municipalities to use property taxes, to use your money, the money that you're paying for your property tax. They want to use that to fund resilient rebuilding authorities. That's the language in the bill. The bill requires at least 40% of their funding be used for building low-income housing. You can't make this crap up.
They don't want people to rebuild the Palisades the way it was. They want it rebuilt the way Gavin Newsom is talking. Reimagining LA 2.0. What does that mean? It means apartment buildings everywhere. Just like they want to see apartment buildings everywhere in California. This is their agenda all along. You see it in all this legislation over the years. Senate Bill 9, Senate Bill 677, SB 450, SB 222, and now the real threat right across the state, SB 79. Right now, in the legislature, that would enable apartment buildings up to 7 stories to be built anywhere in California. No one has a say about it.
Luckily, the outrage over this was so extensive, they're delaying a full vote on this bill until next year. I swear, if you're not on top of these people, they will screw us any way they can. In another story, New York AG Latisha James learning the hard way what goes around comes around, being smacked this week with a pair of subpoenas as part of a grand jury probe investigating her for deprivation of rights and improper prosecutorial conduct. The grand jury's allegedly zoning in on 2 separate cases of hers, one involving the citizen Donald Trump and the other involving her lawsuit against the NRA last year. Latisha's in hot water. She's dealing with this grand jury probe, and then separately we're learning who's leading the investigation into her alleged mortgage fraud. Wait for this. Pam Bondi appointing Ed Martin as the special prosecutor investigating both Adam Schiff and Latisha James for mortgage fraud. Ed Martin is the pit bull who Trump appointed to be the DC AG. Dems successfully derailed his nomination a few months ago. They were petrified of Ed Martin investigating them. Well, look what's happened. He's now the special prosecutor, and target number 1 for him is Adam Schiff and Latisha James. And let's not forget who this lady is, right? The highest law enforcement officer in the state of New York, the same lady who campaigned on locking up private citizen Donald Trump, not President Trump. She was harassing him as a private citizen to stop him from rerunning for president. That was the goal.
What is fueling my soul right now is Trump.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
He said I know my name personally.
The grand jury investigating accusations that she trampled on President Trump's rights as a U.S. citizen during the $454 million civil fraud case last year and attempted to devalue Mar-a-Lago substantially, she was claiming that Mar-a-Lago is only valued at $20 million, a fraction of the real value of that property. Mar-a-Lago is thought to be the single most valuable private lot in the entire state of Florida.
Donald Trump's home here in Palm Beach is quickly earning the title Winter White House. It's a storied estate steeped in history. Mr. Trump has spent the past 20 Thanksgivings here. But now, as president-elect, everything is different. The 20-acre estate was originally built by serial heiress Marjorie Merriweather Post. She actually envisioned it as a winter retreat for U.S. presidents. Now, some say it's the most valuable parcel of land anywhere in Florida. Much of the 126-room estate is used by the members-only Mar-a-Lago Club.
This lady is legit scary. It's scary to think someone like this, someone this partisan, unbalanced, has the power to unjustly prosecute you. She had no basis to go after Trump. She did it anyways. The whole thing was to stop him from running for re-election. No crime was referred to her office. She went searching for a crime, and when she found nothing, she decided to use a bogus novel legal theory, is what they call it, and claim Trump overvalued his properties for better loan terms, which is funny because that's what she allegedly did and may now go to prison for. Trump, on the other hand, used the actual appraised values of his properties. There was nothing illegal with what Trump did. Anybody doing a refi on a piece of property in the state of New York does the exact same thing. Well, listen to how CNN is characterizing these investigations into Latisha James. Just listen to this and tell me what you notice.
Is going on here.
Yeah, well, Dana, let's first put this out there. The fact that, the DOJ is investigating Latisha James, if you were to make a list of sort of political adversaries that Trump finds in the state of New York, Latisha James would probably be at the very top of that list. And now this is the second investigation into Latisha James by the FBI, the DOJ. And essentially this one, as we're learning from Kara Scannell's sources, is that 2 subpoenas have been issued, basically looking, as you said, Dana, into whether or not James's office violated the constitutional rights of Donald Trump, his sons, the company, before filing that civil lawsuit, which, of course, we covered, for several months long, where Trump testified himself, his son testified, and essentially he was found liable, had to pay millions of dollars, and is appealing that right now. You can see there at this point, it's nearly $500 million when you bring in the interest. So this is certainly something that does not have a good look to it when we talk about the DOJ sort of being used as a weaponization, as Latisha James' office would call it, when they are filing these subpoenas. So what we are learning now from James's office, we did get a statement from her attorney, Abby Lowell, who says this weaponizing, the Department of Justice to try to punish an elected official for doing her job is an attack on the rule of law and a dangerous escalation of this administration.
The hypocrisy is like next level. You can't call this weaponization when your side weaponized the justice system against Trump for years. You have zero moral authority now. The fact that CNN's saying the Trump DOJ is using lawfare and weaponizing the justice system, I don't see how they can say that with a straight face. You tried throwing the man in prison for years, over 110 criminal charges, and he won. This is what happens when you decide to try and throw someone in prison over political differences. The pendulum ends up swinging back, and it's swinging. You opened this box, you dug your grave, Latisha James, by weaponizing your office. Now it's coming back to bite. And you didn't just try to throw Trump in prison. You went after the man's family, after his wife, his children. Even the mob has rules against that. Families are off limits. Not with these people. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They searched First Lady Melania Trump's bedroom, her closet, her bathroom, her underwear drawer, Barron Trump's bedroom. That's what these people did.
House manager texts you and says the FBI is outside the house. They had access to my bedroom, closets, office, and rummaged through my personal items. Even searched Barron's room, you say. So how invasive was that? Did it make you angry? How did you feel?
Yeah, it made me angry. Yes. Invasion of privacy. And the way it was done I was really surprised.
You wanted to see it for your own eyes. With your own eyes, what did it look like when you walked back in your house that had been raided?
I saw unpleasant stuff that nobody wants to see it. And you get angry because, nobody should be putting up with that kind of stuff. Some person, I don't even know who or how many people, they went through my stuff.
So personally, I think weaponizing the DOJ is a terrible precedent. They never should have done it to Trump. Trump didn't do it during his first term. But now the people who did do it, who started it, they need to be held accountable. There needs to be some consequence, or they'll just do it again. They'll keep doing it. Let me know if you agree. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.